Hey crafters, it's me, Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and welcome to Free Play Friday. Free Play Friday just means that we share, or I do a tutorial, or I show you how to, step by step, easy, whatever, techniques, fancy fold cards, card bases, card styles, 3D things, just all depends. And today we are going to be working on a first in the series. It's technically not the first in the Valentine series, however, it's the first in the easy to make card Valentine series. I have 2 of them prepared. Today we're going to go through cards 1 through 3, and next Friday we'll go through cards 4, 5, and 6. So these are the first 3 we're going to make. They were in the thumbnail in case you missed it. This one is We're a Perfect Match. Now if you have a matchbox, a real one, that's super. You can just glue it right on there, but I didn't have a real one, so I had to make mine. So I'm going to show you how I made that today. Then there's this one that's super easy. You just need some 3-dimensional foam adhesive and some kind of an embossing folder. I have embossing on the top. And then this one has a little bit of heat embossing and a punch and a stamp. Super easy things to do. And I've got most of the stuff that you're going to need right here on the mat. The We're a Perfect Match was just written in marker, and so you need a little bit of white paper, you need some cardstock craft paper, stuff like that. So I just want to say hello to some people. Let's see, we've got Monica, Debbie, Kathy, Carolyn, Linda, Elise, Lexi. Hello Lexi. Let's see, who else did I miss? Go back up to the top. Mia Smartcraft, Esther's here. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Sister in the house. My sister's here. And so I wrote down the little directions that it's going to take to make that little matchbox, just in case we forget, because I know I probably won't remember. So that's there. And then a little bit of white, a stamp set, and I am using, let's see, for this one, I ended up using the May Made It set called Jesus Loves You, for these 3 little hearts. Those are the hearts that I used for this one. This one with the hearts, I used this punch. Oh, and I have to grab some red paper really quick. And that's about it. I'll show you how to make this. Just need a little bit of extra white paper, which I believe I have. I might need maybe one more sheet of white paper. So I'll just pull this one out for our matchbox, and I need a little bit of red. I should have some right here in my little pocket keeper. There's a little piece of red. That might be enough. Oh, if not, I got a little bit more here. I have a whole card base going on here. Alright, well, we'll set that to the side in case we need more. I'm going to turn off my heater here so that you're not hearing all that extra noise. We've got Peggy Lowry and Peggy2316, Sandy Marino, Sun and Moon Arts. Hi guys, so give me some hearts if you're new so that I can find you and make sure I say hello and welcome. If you haven't joined our community on Facebook, you want to do that because it's drama and commitment free, which means no one's going to be hunting you down if you don't participate. Everyone's got their own stuff going on in their lives, and sometimes you can participate and sometimes you can't. And so we're not going to hold you to any of that. You can come and lurk around and just be inspired if that's all you want to do. Cheers, guys. I may have to stop at one point and get some more of my drink, but let's get going because these aren't going to really take us very long, but that's the joy of it. I want to show you some really simple cards that can be made, even though they've got a little bit of something going on with them. They still look really cute. This first one is the most, of these 3, the most easy, I think. So you just need a regular card base, which is half of an 11.5 or 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper cut in half. So once you fold that over, you've got a 4 1/4 or 5 by 5.5 sheet card. And now you can go ahead and just emboss the top. But what I did was I embossed a separate piece. So let's see if this is a full sheet. Oh, it's a little bit long. I'll have to cut that one down. I'm going to go ahead and just emboss a regular, just a sheet on the side, because that way I don't have to try to fit my whole card into my machine. So I'm going to cut this down to 5.5 so it fits. You're definitely going to want a corner rounder, which I didn't pull out right away. Make sure you have one of them. And I'm going to go ahead and run this through my Cuttlebug. I'm using this We Are Memory Keepers chevron type embossing folder, and it's too much space to take up to run that through, so I'm just going to do it on the side here. If embossing is something that you guys want to see, you're like, wow, I'm just not really familiar with that, let me know. I can do an embossing video on separately. So here's my, now this one I ran a different way. So this one had them going up and down. This one's going to be going sideways. No big deal. It doesn't matter what embossing folder you use, in my opinion. You just use what you like, what looks good to you. And this was the one that I happened to have grabbed. You can use one that has hearts on it if you want to, but this way you don't have to use this for Valentine's Day. You can use it for a lot of other things. Well, Linda, I'm glad you can make it then. If this is going to be the beginning to your awesome weekend. We have teacher personal development day on Monday, so I don't have to go to school on Monday either. Woo, woo, go me. I am super excited when I get a day off, because then I can do more with my business. So I'm going to go ahead and corner chomp these. Seems like I got some in there. Let's see if it can handle it. All three of these pieces at the same time. And it did. That's awesome. Okay, and then the only thing that we have left to do is to pop our big, our big hearts across. So I ended up using just this heart, but I punched out, you know, all of them a couple of different times so that I could get all of them. And I'm going to also use them for this one. So let me just see how many of these I can get punched out of this little piece of red that I have sitting here. Heaven Sent celebrating 58th birthday in Seattle, Washington. Happy birthday! Linda Landis working on a baby album. Now, depending on what kind of heart you use, you may have to use more or less of your hearts, depending. But I'll tell you, if you have this one, it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hearts, and I cut the last one right in half. So let me see how many I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, just enough. 5, 6. I may do another couple cuts later so that I have some big ones for this one as well, but that will do for now. Just want to keep those somewhere where I've got them. And this is how I did mine. I thought, okay, I'm going to start with the middle one, and this is how I figured out what I needed. I started with the middle one, and then I just flipped the next two upside down. And then I flipped the next two upside right. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to need one more, but I only need like a half of one. So I just went ahead and used the scissors and cut this right in half. And that way, this one I'll have to flip this way. So that can go on that side, and this one will stay this way and it'll go on that side. And that's how I figured it out. So when you take your hearts, start with the middle and then space them out, and see how close you can get. You don't have to do the halvesies if that's too complicated for you. Just go ahead and spread them out and just use 5 if that's what you prefer. I wanted mine to look like they were running right off the page. So just so I didn't mess them up, I went ahead and left them that way and then flipped them over and put the stuff on so that I could keep better track of them. So that's what I'm saying. We want them all to go on that way. So what I did was I just flipped them over towards me so that I knew what side I was putting the foam adhesive on. Okay, and that way I didn't have to go back and rethink, oh shoot, you know, like, was I supposed to put this side down or whatnot? This way I don't have to think so hard. All I have to do is cut my foam and add them. Oh, Donna, that's awesome. You're also experimenting with Valentine cards. I don't know how many of you guys actually use or send Valentine cards. I know there must be a few of you guys out there that maybe make them for your kids to take to school. So these are even really cute ones that you can make for your kids. Try doing 3x3s so you don't have to do, you know, as much maybe. That might work. Totally up to you guys. Say, so glad you're doing Valentine cards. We have a group of 20 extension women that I make. A group of 20 extension women that I make Valentine cards for. Tell me a little bit more about that. What does that mean? Extension women. I'm a little confused. I'm trying to add a little bit to each one, but trying not to let my foam stuff show. You can add as little or as much to yours as you want. Doesn't matter. I just read somebody say they're looking for something in their craft room, and if it had been a snake, it would have bit them. That happens to me all the time. All right, I'm going to start with the middle one again, like I said at the very beginning. Totally true. I'm really good at losing stuff in here. All right, and so I'm just going to like eyeball this up and go, okay, that looks like about the middle. We'll go with it. And then the next two. Heaven Sent is reminding us to do our thumbs up, so if you enjoy these videos and would like to see my channel continue, go ahead and give us a thumbs up there. That lets YouTube know that you enjoy this and you'd like it to keep going. Oh, like an adult 4-H. Okay, gotcha. Thanks for answering my question. And then I'm going to flip them. And I'm going to try to line them up. That looks good. Try to space them the same. That looks good. Close enough. Looking for your glasses when you're wearing them. I've done that with my phone. Looking for my phone while I'm on. I'm like, I gotta go. I can't find my phone. We use our phones for so much now. Like practically everything. Except me. I really love to be on a PC when I'm doing stuff. When I'm shopping online and doing all that kind of stuff. I just hate using my phone for that. That looks good. Two more. Hey, Sherry. Hi, Debbie Evans. Who else have I missed? Lexi, hello. Is there anybody here tonight that's new that I missed? Well, I'm going to flip that one upside down. Try to get it close to the edge. And that's it. That's that one. Now you can give these texture by crumpling them or whatever. You can add things to them with a white gel pen or whatnot. Doll it up if that's what you want to do. It doesn't really matter. I gotta move my thing over. I can't see what everyone's saying. Card workshops. That's cool. So I think what I'll do is I'll do like a all right. I'm going to just try to do like an outline of this. If this gel pen's going to let me. I don't know if there's a texture on this or something that's just not letting it run. Or this one might be running out. This is the one I use all the time. That's also very possible. Let me try another one. Can't find your laptop. Oh my. How do you lose a laptop? Hi, Tina York. You've not missed much. I just finished making this one card. Oh, see, look at this one's running way better. I say that and then it peters out on me. I guess what I could say is maybe do this while they're flat. Maybe that's why I'm having such an issue. Now we have a sale for the patrons going on tonight. So if you are one of them, that sale will be going on right after this live. It'll be live in our group. So don't come back to YouTube looking for us because we will not be here. We will be in the private group. If you want to be a part of that private group, we welcome and invite you. All you have to do is go to patreon.com/qualitycrafts and join in. So there I added just some outlines, and you can do whatever you want with them. So there is a version of this very first card. Okay, so we've got that one down. We've got 2 more to go. Do this one next. This is a craft card stock. You can use white if you want and use different colors. That part is not, doesn't matter depending on what you have in your craft room. I need to say hello to Irely. And I'm not sure I'm saying that right. I hope I am though. So here's this little gift box right here. I'm not real keen on how that turned out the first time. I'm thinking that I might just make that like maybe just a white box. I don't know. I don't like the way it turned out. So where's my extra paper? My extra white. Let's just use this one. You know what, and if I could use a punch too, just a little square punch, but I'm going to eyeball it. I'm going to make my package look like this. I'm going to cut it just a little past there so I can bend down what should be like the top of the box. So just a little box of some sort, and I'm bending down the front. You can make it as 3D as you want it to be. I'm just going to use like, there's like one flap, right? Just a square with a little flap over, and that's going to go down here as my little box. Now I can decorate that box, I can color it, I can draw on it. This was a white one, and all I did was color it with a brown marker and then use my white gel pen to just make a messy little bow that had wrapped around there. And then this is the flap. There's a little flap on there. Okay, so that's going to be my box. I might want to color it a different color, but for right now, that's it. And then I'm going to get out one of my blocks so that I can set my hearts on it the way I want my hearts to look. And yours might look completely different than mine. That's okay. So I'm going to use these 3 from Jesus Loves Me stamp set by May Made It. I use a lot of her stamp sets, so if you're new to here, I'm going to flip these over and be like, okay, this is kind of how I want it to look. Maybe I want them to be coming out kind of like that. So I'm going to set them down there and then pick them up with my block. Because this is where we're going to do a little bit of white embossing, and it shouldn't take much. It shouldn't take long, shouldn't take much. We're just going to do a few. You need a little bit of Versamark or some kind of a clear ink. Versamark is just a clear ink. It's just a shiny clear ink that makes the powder stick. Now mine's looking a little ratty, but that's okay. Just keep using them. Works out great. Hey Robin, thank you. Wednesdays we do a card in just 10 minutes using your scraps, and I used Robin's this week. So if you want to get in on that, join us in our Quality Crafts group. And why I say that is because that's where you're going to find my address to send it in. That's where you're going to get all of the help if you don't really know quite what you're doing. That kind of stuff. So I'm just going to stamp that twice. And you can even see, you could do like a 2-tone, and that would be a very nice light background for something. But I'm going to go ahead and just add my white embossing folder. I love how Penny is putting out all the links to all the things. So if you want to get more involved in our community, if you want to support me on my journey in becoming a full-time crafter with you guys, doing a lot more fun stuff, then go ahead and click on one of those links. Join us on Patreon. I'm just going to use the end of my pencil here. A little paintbrush would work too, but anything to get those little granules moving. You could use your little dust bag, embossing buddy, sock, whatever you want to call it, but I didn't. And that's okay with me. I'm going to go ahead and put the cover on because that's where I've hit all my hearts. And then we're going to emboss this. Here we go. And that's all we need. Now, if you don't like the fact that your paper curls, you can just curl it back in the other direction. Or you can do your embossing on a separate cardstock sheet, you know, the front, and then put it on top. Totally up to you. I don't believe it lets you do one time for the whole year, but if you want to work something like that out with me, I can add you to the group and we can do it through through PayPal or by some other means. Just have to let me know if that's uncomfortable for you. If you don't want to be in that way, we can work it out. So this was just the white ones underneath, and then I want a white splatter. But if you notice that the splatter's not on the red ones, you do the splatter first and then do the red ones last. So the next thing I'm going to do is do the white splatter, which is super easy. You just put a little bit of white paint, spray a little bit of water on top of that. And I think I have one of my, yeah. Take a little paintbrush or a toothbrush or whatever you have. Get that really wet. And then just tap on it. If you want really big drops, get it really wet and then let it drop. I like to just smack the pen. I just think that makes a really nice splatter. I had my out, my rinse well, but I put it back in my cupboard. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that to rinse off my brush and put that away. Make sure you don't have any of your dark red projects hanging around when you do that, because it does splatter all over the place. And then just wipe up your mess. Super easy. You may even just have a white spray that you have on hand in a bottle. If you do, go ahead and use that and just spray it on. I just really enjoy making my own little sprays. I think it's super fun. Dry my mat here. No one likes working in the wet spot. Alright, next thing we're going to do is put on our red ones. This is still not bending right, so I'm just going to give it a little, there we go, close enough. And take some of our hearts that we have here and just say, okay, how do I want these to look here? Maybe I want a couple, some little ones. When I put my little box down there, that's where the hearts are going to come out. So maybe I want one of the little hearts coming out like that. And I think that's plenty. I could have punched out some more of the really large hearts, but I think this will totally work. And then I'll put one more up there. And that's it. That creates that spray. It looks like it's jumping right out of the box. So if you leave them there and you use your wet glue, which I'm looking for here, then you can just pick them up, put a bit of glue down, and put them right back into space. That way you're not losing. I know sometimes when I make cards, I put something down and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love the way that looks. Then after I lift it up, I'm like, I can't remember where they were. And then it changes the look of the card and I'm not so happy with it. So this is just a good way to do that. And then my little block. It's going to go here, my little box. I'm just going to leave mine white. Maybe I want to put a little red ribbon on it. That would be okay. Lift this up and put a red ribbon right down the middle. And then all I did was just choose a little tiny stamp to put here. You can stamp anything you want. I don't want to put Jesus loves you. I might want to use that for sending to somebody. You and me. Here's a little stamp that I have that's got sweethearts. I love you. You and me. It's just a little bit too big. Not quite going to fit there. I am using Aleene's Tacky Glue. It's in the regular gold glue bottle. She also has like Tack It Over and Over, which is in a green bottle, and Turbo Tacky, which is I think more of a white bottle. So if you're looking for the regular Aleene's Tacky Glue, it's in a goldish brown looking box. Or bottle, I mean. That's the one you're going to want. I'm looking around to see if I have mine close by. No, I'd have to dig for it. I have found one. I have found the one my soul loves. Oh, that one will work. Hi, Mom. Jamie's here today, too. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. I don't want to do stays on today. I want to do... I must have moved my ink around. Oh, there it is. I put it to the side so I wouldn't forget what inks I used, and then promptly forgot that I put it to the side. VersaFine Onyx Black ink. This is the one that I like the best. Memento is good too, and I do sell that. I have some Memento on hand. Tonight and tomorrow are your times to go ahead and pre-order the stuff that's coming out that's new by Tim Holtz and Wendy Vecchi and what's that young man's name? Is it Wesley? Can't remember. He's got a lot of really cool stuff coming out too. And so I'm just going to stamp that there. Connie said, I found my last little bottle of Aleene's Tacky Glue at the Dollar Tree. Every once in a while I see it there too. I would grab it if you see it. Alright, wipe that clean and put that back so I don't forget where I got it from. Alrighty, so that one came together rather quickly, I think. And it's a super fun looking card. Like, you could do balloons for birthdays and all kinds of different things. You could just holidayize this one. It'd be really fun. So here's the original one that I did. It says Happy Valentine's Day, and they're coming out. And then here's the other one. Do you see the difference in the sprays? It's always going to look a little bit different, so you decide how big or small or how wide you want that spray to go, right? Two different looks. So if you missed us, if you're joining us a little bit late, here's the first card we made. This one is the first one, the prototype that I did for the thumbnail. This one we just dolled up a little bit with some white gel pen. You can, or you don't have to do that depending on what look you're going for. You put gems on your hearts if you want. And then we did this one. Here's the prototype. And here's the one we just finished. Really cute, right? And so this one's my favorite one. Totally my favorite. It's so cute, and I didn't have any match books like these old matchbooks that go together, and this looks like a real one, doesn't it? It's a little bit bigger than a real one, but it looks like one, and I handmade this, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it because we've got plenty of time. So I made some little cheat sheet notes here. So if you'd like to fast forward to this one, stop here and get all of your measurements. There they are. Okay, so we're going to start out with, let me move this just to the side and get a few things out of the way. This is going to come together really quickly. It seems like kind of putsy and whatnot, but it's not going to be that bad. And I chopped up my little white piece, so I need another little white piece. No worries, I got lots of little white pieces over here. We'll make it work. Okay, so the base of the actual matchbook is going to be 1.5 by 4. So we're going to go ahead. Let me double check that this is 4, because if it's not, I need another one. It looks like it's almost exactly 4. So all I have to do is cut mine at 1.5, and I've got the 4. Okay, 1.5 by 4. You end up with a long rectangle like this. We're going to do 2 scores, one at 1.5 and one at 2. So turn it sideways. Put it out at 1.5. Score, and then another 1/2 inch at 2. And score again. All right. Now I'm going to match mine up. One of the pieces is going to be longer than the other. That's the part that goes on the bottom, because we're adding another little 1/2 inch piece over the top of the matches here. And isn't it cool? Don't these look like real matches with the matches being torn off? I'm going to show you how to get that look. It's so easy. But go ahead and do a little bit of pressing down your little score marks here. You don't have to go wild, because you're going to want it to kind of stay open anyway. We need another little 1/2 inch piece just like this one to go on the bottom. So I'm going to use this one. It's a 1/2 inch by 1.5. So I'm going to go ahead and cut mine first at 1.5. And then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to cut it at 1/2. That's all we need. And if you already have the Tim Holtz tiny attacher, woohoo for you. And if you don't, just use a regular stapler. Nobody's going to notice. That piece is going to go right on the bottom like that. Okay. And then, but what about the match part, Jen? I'm getting to that. We need a little piece of brown, which is why I had that extra piece that I had brought out. And that little brown piece is going to be this piece right here. It's 1 3/4 inch tall by no more than 1.5 wide. I would suggest not going quite 1.5 wide, because you don't want it to stick out the ends. So I go maybe go 1.5, but not quite. Not quite 1.5. And then do the other side at 1 3/4. And then I'll show you what that should look like. So I have mine at almost 1.5 by 1 3/4. So if I put it on the bottom, so you see there's a little like frame around the edge. That's going to go down to the bottom, and then you're going to have a little room here for your actual matches. So to make the matches, keep in mind that this is going to cover up a 1/2 inch. So you don't need to go quite that far down with your cutting. And get out your 5-bladed scissors. If you don't have a 5-bladed scissors, just snip it with your regular scissors. It's no big deal. The 5-bladed scissors actually is a little bit too skinny, I think, but it's a lot quicker. So if you're going for speed, grab those, and if you're not, then go ahead and, you know, do it my way, where you're gonna eyeball. Oh, nice. Peggy just does the bottom flap. It's already attached. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut down. I'm eyeballing it about as wide as I think they should be. Like I said, if you don't want to have to worry about that, just use your 5-bladed scissors, and that's good enough. I'm going to go just a little bit lower with my cuts. Okay. Alrighty, and then if you put them over, if you flap this one over the top here, you'll be able to see where they land in there, and you can rip out the ones you want, because maybe you want a little bit of that rip to show. So I'm going to go ahead and put mine in there so that they look pretty straight. Put on my little tab. Again, somebody mentioned you could add on that extra 1/2 inch, do another score mark, and just flap it over if you like. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my little tiny attacher right in the middle. And then I'm going to go ahead and rip off the ones that I don't need. Now I want to rip off one in the middle, okay, and a couple on the sides, and leave 2 of them there. So however you want to do that. Tear them off so that they look like the matches got torn off. Barbara Eastock wants to know, when is the next garage sale? It is tomorrow. So if you are a patron, there's a patron only sale this evening in our private group. So don't come back here tonight at 6 and look for it, because it won't be here. Okay. Now to finish off the matches, you want a little bit of that brown top, and then you want the red part. So I'm going to use a marker, and I'm just going to color the top of it brown, and then I'm going to cut those teeny tiny marks, those teeny tiny, you know, cornered off squares. And you can do that any way you want. I think I'm just going to cut up one of these little hearts to make mine, and I'm going to grab my brown marker. I don't think it really matters what color your brown marker is. That's completely up to you. So I am just going to go ahead and add some brown to this. Alrighty. And then cut my little squares. I think I'm going to try to cut them both at the same time. Thanks, Barbara. I'm going to cut 2 little squares. And this might be putsy. If you've got something that'll cut out a shape that's similar to this, use a punch or something. Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut out 2 little squares, teeny tiny ones. And hopefully they're the right, about the right size. And then I'm just going to cut off the corners. I tried just using a circle and it didn't quite look right. I tried just using the square without cutting the little corners off, and that looked a little odd. And then after I cut off the little corners, I really liked the way they looked, so I stuck with that. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little glue on here, not a lot because I don't want it to get all messed up. And put that on the end. I'm going to turn it because it looks like it might look better a little bit wider. There we go. And one more. Yeah, like I said, you know, look for something that will totally maybe just punch right out in one of your odd punches or something that you've had laying around for a while. So that you don't have to get real putsy with this. You can use teeny tiny squares if you want. Don't worry about the edges. That's probably 10 times easier. But yeah, I wanted them to look real, so I played around with it until I got something that looked really real. Alright, and then that's what I got. I almost think the skinnier ones now look a lot more real, but that's totally up to you. Original ones versus the other ones. You can make your tips a little darker if you want, so play around with it and see what works for you. And then at the top here, you have to write your own little sentiment. Unless you have a stamp that says we're a perfect match, which you very well might have. I don't, so I will have to make do with my own handwriting. Don't underestimate your handwriting either, because sometimes people are like, whoa, do you have a stamp that says that? And I'm like, no, I hand wrote it, and they're just like, wow. You could do you light my fire. Okay, so we're a perfect match. going to do a little heart here. Just because I can. Well, this idea was not my own. I always do a random search and look through Google and Pinterest and all YouTube and all kinds of stuff to come up with ideas for you guys, and then I just try to piece them together and create a way to make them so that you can make them easy and you don't have to rack your brain about it. So that's what I love doing, like picking something and going, oh, you know what, I could totally do that, and I could probably do it really easy and then show other people how to do it. And that just became my knack, and I love doing it for you guys. So that's kind of where that came from. Let me just scoot some of these guys out of the way, because we do have a sale going on tonight at 6, so I'm probably going to end here a little bit early like I usually do, so that I can get ready for them. And we'll do a little review of what we did tonight. These are super fun to make, so easy, really quick. I mean, it's less than an hour, and that's with me yakking away and, you know, telling you different things and whatnot. But remember, if you want to come back to this video, I held up all of the directions on how to make these little guys. Oh, and I didn't even put this on a card, which is basically just a regular A2 size card base that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then you just glue this on. So I'm going to go ahead and glue, I just glue the bottom part down, let the top part hang, so it's kind of like you could put it together if you wanted to. And by all means, decorate the background if you want, but this is how it looked, and I thought it looked really neat. So you could even close this. You could even close the little matchbox if you wanted to. It should work. There we go. And then they open it up and we're a perfect match. Cute. So let's start from the beginning. So we've got this one and this one. Same thing. You could add your jewels or your white. You could do polka dots on there. You could do whatever you wanted. Any kind of background would work. And you just have your hearts. You could do a rainbow of hearts. You could change that to clovers for March. It's totally up to you guys. You can change it up. Here's the little match ones we make. These little skinny ones came from using the 5 blade scissors. So if you want to do the skinny ones, that's just fine. If you want to eyeball them, you can make them a little bigger, a little showier. And then this one that we made, where this stuff just seems to be popping right out of that little box. I like the white box better, personally. But that's totally fun. I can totally see, like, stuffed animals flying out of there. I could see balloons flying out of there. Larger confetti things. I know there's a lot of punches that punch out little confetti things. That would look amazing. They could be popping out of anything other than a box, too, depending on what you have laying around your house in your craft hoard, right? So this is the series of Valentine, Easy Valentine cards, cards 1, 2, and 3. Meet me next week on Friday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time if you'd like to see the next in the series, set number 2 for cards 4, 5, and 6. And I didn't bring those out, but they're right next to me. Let me show you what they look like. We will be making cards 4, 5, and 6. Now ready? So 4, 5, and 6 will be coming up next week. Go ahead and join me then. The public garage sale is tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's when I'm going to write down everybody who wants to pre-order any of the Tim Holtz goodies, and we can talk a lot about that. So we'll be going, sequins would look really fun at least. Good idea. Awesome. So tonight I will see you patrons in the patron-only sale. You're welcome to join us on Patreon. I can't add you tonight for this sale, but I can add you for the one that'll be happening in 2 weeks. They get to see a lot of the things that are brand new. They get to see things first. Sometimes they get sales that the public doesn't get. So if you want to join us in that, it's patreon.com/qualitycrafts. Otherwise, think everything quality in qualitycrafts.com. There are links there that will take you to the blog, to the Patreon, to the actual Facebook community group. and to all the links for Amazon. So if you thought that I was done affiliating with Amazon, I'm not. If there's anything that you're looking for, if you use any of my Amazon links, we get a nice little kickback, which is super fun in creating an income that will let me do more of the games and the prizes and the fun things that I can give back to you. So go ahead and think of Quality Crafts when you're shopping on Amazon. I will see you patrons soon, and I'll see everyone else tomorrow at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you can't make the sale tomorrow, then we'll see you for a regular week next week. 5 p.m. on Wednesday for a 1 in 10 by Jen, From Mailbox to Masterpiece, where I make a card in 10 minutes. And another Friday free play just like tonight, where we go through cards 4, 5, and 6 for Valentine's Day. And I can't wait to see you guys next video.